Koto Katoa, all you miserable fucks, and welcome here to Mucky Productions. For the first time, I can say in a long time, good morning, Mr. Drew.
Morning.
Morning. It's not very often we're both like in the same roughly time slot. Normally it's like one afternoon, one night, or one morning, one night, but it's technically morning for both of us.
Oh, is it midnight for you right now?
It's 12:36 right now for me, So good morning, Drew. I won't be having a coffee, but here's my drink to you, my brother.
Okay.
Good morning, happy days.
Warm water.
Warm water, some vodka. You can't go wrong, baby.
Yeah, it's too early for vodka right now. We've got about 5.5 hours before I can start drinking alcohol.
No, bro, any time is vodka time, in my opinion, bro. You just gotta... Yeah, you just gotta, just trust the process. Just have a lot of fun. And joining us as well is Blood Money 47. Haven't seen you in a while, brother, but you're Mucky and Drew. What's up? Have you watched Traitors UK season 4 finale last night? I actually haven't. I'm really bad when it comes to watching multiple shows at once. But how about you, Drew? Are you watching Traitors UK 4?
No, I had to go to bed last night so I could wake up and do this morning.
Okay.
So no, I have not. And I've also avoided any type of spoilers, so...
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so no spoilers, Bloody Money, but I assume it must be a good one if you're asking us our opinion on it. But, maybe at some point we'll do like a review or something of Traitors UK Season 4. But we're here to talk about Traitors US Season 4. Well, only one episode this week, Drew. How did you feel?
I'm glad.
One episode.
I like the release schedule that they do. It's a hybrid of the Netflix type release schedule with the network TV's type schedule of, hey, we're just going to give you a bulk of episodes here and here, and then the rest of the season we're just going to give you week by week. And I feel like they've given us enough in the first 2 weeks with those first 5 episodes that, like, I feel like we do need kind of a break. Like, it's not so you're not being oversaturated with Traitors stuff. I think this was a nice one-off episode dealing with sort of the fallout from last one. But yeah, overall, I enjoy their release schedule.
Well, when it comes to a lot of American shows, I know Survivor does this, but is it normally one episode a week for you guys?
Yes. Yeah. Netflix and things like that, they'll just release all the episodes at the exact same time. Disney Plus, I know some of their Marvel shows they'll release at the same time, same with the Star Wars. But then network television is still weekly. You'll get weekly episodes of a show, which it's very old school. I mean, as someone that grew up watching it like that, but I do appreciate that I have shows that I can watch in bulk and shows that I have to wait from week to week.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because for like obviously with Australian Survivors, it's 3 episodes a week, which sometimes can be just way too much. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes there's so much shit that goes on. It's like, how do I even process all this? But then sometimes they're like 2 episodes are kind of meh, and then one really good one. So it's like, oh, okay, I feel happy with that.
And the problem with Australian Survivor for me is, and I feel like a lot of Americans have this, but they won't admit it because they love it so much. It's the fact that because there are 3 episodes a week, and because of the very big time difference between the 2 countries, you only really have like a short amount of time to watch the episode before the next episode comes out, which means that everyone has already started spoiling that previous one. So and that's hard. That's very hard to keep up with while avoiding spoilers.
Yeah. Now I did find that even with like American shows, like I just have to go. Because the worst part about being in New Zealand is that we have no shows apart from Traitors New Zealand, right? So I always get almost spoiled for every show that comes out. So I've just learned to just avoid social media at all costs, right? And that's just the only way to do it.
For more than one reason.
Yeah, exactly. But I did feel like this was a bit of a lackluster episode, though, for it to just be the one episode. I wouldn't mind if maybe they clumped this with the with Michael Rappaport getting voted out as well. I kind of feel like it would have been all right. So we got one really good one, a bit of a slow burner kind of ending, but
and I feel like this one I feel like it's just setting the stage for the next phase of the game. Now, we have the Michael phase of the game here, and we get the bookend. Well, not the bookend. We get the little Ron. Like Ron finally goes. They finally get rid of Ron.
Yeah.
Monsters. But it's the stage for the rest of the game, which is basically, from what, at least from what we're being shown, is probably the traitors imploding on themselves. I think we kind of needed this episode as a come down from the Michael thing, and Ron kind of just goes home. But even in that Ron going home, we have a lot of things that lay the groundwork for where we're going the rest of the way. So I feel like I won't say this was a filler episode, but it was definitely more of a, I could sit on my phone for the challenge, which I absolutely did, and still feel like I'm not missing much.
Bro, for me, the challenge was like the best part of the episode. I loved the mission. I guess we'll jump into the Ron of it all. We spoke a little bit last week, and you came in quite heavy that you did not like Colton, and you shared with V and I, like sort of like the behind the scenes stuff about Colton after the Bachelor and stuff, and I've always been a kind of person where it's like I can separate the game versus who you are in real life, right? Like Tom Sandoval, prime example, right? It's like he's a wee bit of an arsehole, just from stuff, things that I've heard. But I loved him in the Traitors, and I think with Colton, while he's done, quite some pretty bad, horrible stuff, and I'm kind of glad that people are now calling him out for it. But I feel like they're only calling him out for it because I've got no fallback guy. I feel like Michael is just we hate him. We hate him because he's a right-wing activist, so we love Colton. But now that Michael's out of the picture, it's like, we can actually start hating on Colton now. It's kind of stupid how the media works. But
I agree.
And I feel like, rightfully so. Like, Ron gets so much shit for the Porsche thing, which I do think there's...
That happened 4 episodes ago, 5 episodes.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think we might have spoken about it last time we were on here, Drew, but I feel like where Ron went wrong is that he blindsided everyone with it. Whereas with Colton, it seemed like he kind of recruited people along the way. I think that's the two main differences between the approach.
And it's hard, like, blindside, I see where you and they are coming from as far as, like, it was all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But because it's Traitors, inherently can't be a blindside because we're all sitting here talking about they were caught off guard but what's his nuts? Eric did it a couple weeks ago with Tiffany. Eric sat there saying, I've got the greatest musical ear since Mozart, and I can figure out who's laughing based off of just the pitch and is wrong, and no one gives him anything. Yeah. And that is kind of a same situation because he doesn't bring it up until there. Now, yes, he was piggybacking off of, I want to say what Colton was saying at that point.
Yeah, it was Colton, yeah.
But, and then, I don't know, I just really felt for Ron, and I know I'm kind of skipping ahead with this, but, like, the fact that he gives basically, like, his own eulogy right before they vote was actually kind of nice. I thought that was actually going to save him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, see, Traitors is just such a hard game. Like, I've had many great chats with Sam about it on how do you actually play Traitors, and there is no right way to play Traitors, right? You can get voted out for so many stupid reasons, but one thing I have always kind of found, I'm not sure if the same with the UK seasons, I have to rewatch them, but there's always at least one person, Drew, or maybe two people, where, like, everyone just shits on them. But I feel like that the people who they shit on the most, like obviously with here we had Ron, for example, and Michael, with this season. In New Zealand season 2, you had like Noel, you had Mark, you had Robbie in season 1. I'm trying to think of anyone else in some of the like American ones, but you've got someone who people just keep on targeting over and over again. But they're
Kate
so
Chastain.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, since they're playing so badly, it's like, well, like bad in quotation marks, it's like they genuinely can't be a traitor. Because why would you expose yourself this much? You know what I mean? Like, as Rob said, Michael's either the boldest traitor possible, or it's just a really bad faithful. But I kind of feel like the people who are making all these mistakes and stuff is because they're so paranoid. That's what's creating the mistakes. So clearly they are faithful.
Yeah. The fact that Tara spoke up, I was like, I think we're reading the room wrong here. And she's I don't think that Ron is. And it's like, yeah, I don't know how many other ways this man can show that he is a faithful besides going to, this is his last ditch effort. I don't even think this was him trying to stay. I genuinely think he was like, I'm just done with these people. Let me say thank you to the people that I like, and I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
And it's that finally convinces still less than majority, but a lot of people that, hey, I don't think, maybe we were wrong. So yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
This man is clearly depressed because you keep calling him a traitor. What else can he do?
Now, obviously, Traitors is such a hard game, right? Because it's like very similar with Survivors, and with Big Brother and stuff. It's a 24/7 game, but with Survivor, you get some downtime. With Traitors, there was no downtime, right? And so, obviously, it's like it's edited as well. So, how much are we really seeing versus not seeing? And it must be so hard once you have those, or I don't know about those kind of people, how hard it is to even shake that. Because you're thinking about it 24/7, right? And I think that's kind of where, like, it is hard for like your Rons or like your Breeds and Knowles, for example, in Traitors New Zealand, where it is just so hard to just shake that suspicion thing, because people won't have any clarity until you speak your truth, which the only place you can ever speak the truth is once you get voted out.
Yeah.
Or murdered.
Or your back is against the wall at a round table and you have to really, like, you can speak your truth there and people still not, they'll still can choose if they believe it or not, but you can be as honest as possible there and just be like, hey, this is it. Either believe me or don't. And Ron went out fighting, until he said goodbye, but like Ron went out fighting for the majority of this season. Oh, every episode he was fighting, and it finally caught up to him. And honestly, outside of the roundtable, we don't get a lot of Ron content this episode.
I think he was done. I truly think he was done. Like we saw him playing chess with Rob, and he has that great chat with him. He's like, Rob, like, I just want to say, like, I know you're like very smart. You're kind of playing it down and stuff. I think you would be a great trader if you are one, and I just really appreciate you actually taking the time to get to know me. I think everyone has ostracized him because it is like a mob mentality, the Traitors game, right? And I think everyone has ostracized him so much to the point where he was just like, I just don't even want to be here anymore. So I don't think he quit, but I think he just stopped trying.
I'm also checked out. Yeah. And I think that scene with Rob is a perfect, I don't know, where we're going to end up with Rob by the end of the episode. It really, I don't know, it feels like it lays the groundwork for where we're headed with Rob's character. Because up to this point, Rob's been my favorite. Rob's been a lot of people's favorites. He's been amazing.
Yeah.
I think by the way that the episode ends, it's like, oh no, like, Rob, what are you doing, bro? We almost had it. And it just shows, but it also shows that the emotional side of Rob that he is building. I think Rob would be a solid Survivor player.
100%.
Because he's making these bonds, and because Ron's not going to vote for the winner at the end. Rob doesn't have to sit there and talk to him, and he does because he's socializing. He's playing the game and also probably just being a good person. And in Survivor, we know that sometimes people vote emotionally, and I feel like that's where Rob went with this in this episode. But yeah, I think it was a solid episode by Rob until the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I guess we can kind of just go through the votes, I think, because I feel like we have so much to talk about at the very end and stuff. But just before we do hit to the roundtable, Johnny really does come out of nowhere and forms a faithful alliance, which includes Tara, Mike, Maura, Kristen, Eric, Stephen. And right before I thought Johnny had it, he then includes Rob and Candace. I was like, no, Johnny, you're so close.
I think Candace is I feel like if I were playing, I would believe that Candace was a faithful. It seems like most people, like, there's no way that anyone thinks that Candace is not a faithful at this point. The conga line, Rob's going around saying who started the conga line, and like that didn't really resonate with anyone. That, oh man, Candace did it, and now Rob is gone here. Candace has caught no heat besides that one thing from the truck in episode 1 that we've already forgotten about. Johnny, I have said I am not a Johnny Weir person, and in this episode, I'm like, man, I really hope this plan works for Johnny. Johnny is the voice of reason, because even if they're voting out faithfuls, they at least have an 8 that they can kind of navigate the game with.
Yeah,
and Colton isn't in the 8, so that's perfect for me as a watcher. Let's get rid of him, which is what the plan is. That's why this is so frustrating. The plan is to get rid of him. Why are we switching? What are we doing here? And I think Candace brings it up again at the roundtable. It's like, well, the guys are doing it again. We're doing it again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I find so interesting, right, is the ability to let a vote happen, right? I kind of feel like even New Era Survivor, I would assume, is kind of going into this era as well, where everyone's a super fan, or at least a fan to some degree, so they want to have at least some influence or some charge of the vote, right? But I think it takes more guts to let other people run the vote than yourself, right? And I think there are too many chiefs, not enough Indians, too many chefs, not enough cooks, right? And I think a lot of people are wanting to be the one. I spearheaded this move, that person was the traitor, I got them out, but no one's willing to let a vote just happen. Yeah.
And once again, it's going back to the using survivor mentality. There are no resumes in this game. So like you spearheading a vote and it works. Yeah, I guess people could come back to you and be like, "Oh, how did you know this person was a traitor? Are you also a traitor?" But like the more likely outcome is, cool, like you did that, congratulations, and so did all the rest of us because we all voted this person out. I don't think that someone spearheading a vote and it works helps or hinders their go. I think it would, I guess, help them as far as people aren't going to try to vote them out. But the traitors could just decide, let's get rid of him or her.
Exactly.
So I've said this before, but like it's very weird how hard the game is for both groups. But specifically faithfuls, because they can get sniped from 2 different groups of people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's so interesting about trying to spearhead and move stuff, I feel like it actually really hurt your game compared to help. Like we saw it with Boston Rob, with Bob the Drag Queen last season, right? What did it do? It just gave him a huge target that he spent the whole rest of the game trying to avoid. Like Sam from Traitors Australia season 2. I know that everyone hates that season, but he put a huge target on himself going after Ash so early, and his name was brought up, or at least talked about at every single round table. And it's like just the way he played it was just phenomenal, right? But these are the risks you take for when you lead a vote, right? Like I feel like it has to be in like a group leading a vote to really kind of stay in the camouflage.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting if Colton does go next week, who that person now will become. That kind of, because Ron's gone, Michael's gone, Colton could be gone.
Yeah.
Eric can't hide behind Colton anymore. Johnny could be someone that starts to speak up more. Tara did start to speak up more in this episode. Natalie Anderson, she speaks up.
Still quiet.
She said, and it's just, I don't know. Natalie's starting to annoy me. But Natalie speaks up. Jam. I'm curious to see who that person will be. Honestly, I think it could be someone like Lisa at this point, because if we want to segue to that whole thing, where Colton pulls Lisa aside and is like, "Hey, like you saved me as a traitor, and I won't go after you as a faithful." And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And
it's
Colton.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a stupid strategy. It really is. Like I feel like like early days of the Traitors, right? This was like 2021, 2022. Yeah, why not go for it, right? Everyone talked about having a Traitors Angel, but when you're saying, oh, I want to win the game with you, you can't win the game with them unless they recruit you, right? And this is obviously where the rumors kind of started going between Danielle and Brittany, right? Was like, did Danielle confirm to Brittany that Carolyn was a traitor? That if we get out Carolyn, I'll recruit you. There's also a rumor that's kind of going around. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But like, yeah, you can't have a Traitors Angel and win because at some point, like they have to cut you or you have to cut them, right? And we've been seeing like Colt, his back is against the wall because Ron literally proves himself on being a faithful by saying, "Yeah, look, like just vote me out. I don't really care, but I just want to say I've really enjoyed my time with everyone." And Colton's name was the only other one that came up. So what does he do? Throws Lisa under the bus.
Yeah.
So if there's any chance that happening, it's no longer happening.
It's funny the parallels of last week's roundtable and this week's roundtable where both times Colton is like actively trying to provoke two very volatile people. So last week he was trying to provoke Michael. I guess even the week before that with Tiffany, but I wouldn't consider Tiffany to be volatile, but you understand my point. And then this week trying to really provoke Lisa. And so Lisa starts to defend herself, and Colton's like, "Oh, see, there's the housewife." Blah, blah, blah. And Lisa's like, "I'm not gonna like break glasses or anything. This is not the This game doesn't need me to do all of that." And I do like that was I thought that was a very smart thing on her to phrase it like that. Like, "Hey, I'm not here to be a housewife, what you see, on this show. I'm here to win and be a great faithful."
Yeah.
And Colton's just there poking the bear, and it's like we're kind of once again we're just kind of letting this guy do this, and at the end of the episode, he is still there, and now a lot more pressure is on Lisa. I'm hoping she can get out of it. I hope she can put the target on Colton, but as soon as he goes, target's on Lisa now for sure. Like, because the one smart thing Colton did do is say, "Hey, if I go home, Lisa did it."
Yeah. I mean, like, look, a thing where I love Colton's aggressive gameplay. I'm enjoying his gameplay in that aspect because it's at least, fun and exciting to watch. Because I like people who I can root for and root against. There's still a lot of people on this cast, like Tara, for example, where I don't really know how I feel about it, or Maura, for example,
or Steven.
Yeah, Steven, yeah. He was literally the last one in the alliance I wrote down because I had to go back and rewatch. Wait, who's in the eights again? Who's Steven again? But at least with Colton, I feel something. And that's what I love. I love when I feel something about players, whether if I like him or dislike him. And I do like him in this game, similar with how I liked Tom Sandoval, where he's actively playing, he's playing hard, he's trying things. A lot of people aren't really doing that, right? So as long as you make it entertaining TV, I'll always root for that. And yeah, but I will agree. Colton, he grabs the stick, he pokes the bear, and as soon as the bear roars back, it's like, "Oh no, poor me, poor me." And it's like,
poor me. It's like, dude, you're it's Lisa Renna. Like, what? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? And I feel like he's losing the plot. Your goal should be to win the game. Your goal shouldn't be, "Oh, let's just see what'll work and what won't work." It's like that's fine when the ultimate goal is like, if this was a practice round of the Traitors, fine. This isn't a practice round. Your goal is to win the game. Why are you actively saying, "Hey, I'm just trying to see what happens"?
Yeah. But like, what felt like
point, you don't want to work with a traitor. Like, if you know for sure she is a traitor, why would you go to the end with her?
Yeah. Now, what I find so dumb is that, like, something that I felt like Lisa should have brought up at the round table has been like, "Hey, look, literally Colton had this chat with me. He's not in it for you guys. He literally told me he wants to go to the end with me as long as I protect him in the Traitors turret." I feel like she was like kind of blindsided in that moment that Colton brought it up because it was so like run. So that's why I think that she didn't bring it up. But like, sure, if you bring that up, that's like, sealing fate, because that is, if you're going to vote out Michael Rappaport for being loud and also technically right about whether you like him or not, he was right that statistically someone in the gamers group is going to be a traitor. Statistically, someone in the housewives are going to be a traitor. He called out Rob for calling him too handsome and too quiet. Rob's a traitor, like whether you like the man or not, he was pretty spot on the money with a lot of his takes, right? If you're willing to just vote him out for just being loud and kind of onto things, you should also be willing to vote out, like Coulter for being like too selfish with the game as well.
Yeah, because we saw it last season. There can be multiple people that win as long as they're from the same camp, and I don't feel like. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. That there isn't a way to play this game selfishly as a faithful. I understand that is a way to play. I don't know. I think if it was anyone else, I probably have a different opinion. But I think that it was a weird situation, and that started all the way back at the breakfast table that morning. Like Colton is like zeroing in on anything that Lisa does. And everything came to a head at this round table, and thank goodness one that Tara spoke up. Yes, she ended up not it ended up being Ron goes home anyway, but Tara stepped up, Johnny Weir stepped up, and I think that those two could get a group to actually vote together moving forward. That would be perfect. The fact, I don't know. I'm anxiously optimistic of what's happening after this.
Yeah, and I do just want to say, I do know that stuff. That's the stuff that that we were like talking about after last week. It's Drew, you literally almost froze. Like just to your point, that was pretty funny too. I was like, uh-oh, but no, as I said, it's like I'm always happy to separate the game from personal, because I think you can respect someone's game and also not really like them as a person, right? There are plenty of Survivor players that I'm like, I do not think would ever be like friends or something, if we ever chat and stuff. But I love the gameplay, like Brad Culpepper at Game Changers. I always say he played a good game. There's something we've always heavily debated about. I don't
mind Brad. Yeah. Brad is too big of a meathead for my liking, but Brad is fine. I prefer Brad over even people on Game Changers.
No, I don't think Brad and I would ever be friends. I don't see anything in common with him. Same thing with Colton. Like just hearing all the stuff he's done, it's like, he's a wee bit of an asshole, but I'm enjoying him and what he's bringing to the game, because it's more than what a lot of people still left in the game are bringing, right? I feel like we're a fault with the Traitors US, right? If I was to name one fault with it, right, is that you cast all these great reality TV all-stars, celebrities, all this great stuff. However, just like with many all-star seasons, the stars always go first, right? Like you look at last season, right? It was like that 1 week where you had Rob, West, Derek, and then Carolyn went out straight after. It's like, wow, the 4 huge players are all gone. It's just Danielle and Zac Efron's brother really still left. And Gabby.
Brittany has a very large Big Brother following.
Okay, yeah. I don't know any of the Big Brothers players, so but it's like, I feel like similar to here, we've lost Rob C. We've lost Tiffany, we've lost Michael. Colton might be out the door soon. I'm a little bit worried that maybe we can start moving into more of a slower kind of game.
It's possible, but I think that what this season has done well is, for instance, Johnny might not have been quiet this entire time. Maybe they waited to start showing more Johnny content because they're building him up to be the next big main character now that Colton may be on his way out. You know, they started building Colton up. It looked like right as Michael's going out. Tiffany gets like a 2-episode story arc. And then, so I do feel like they do well at like, all right, now there's this. Now Tara has an opinion and she's right about her opinion. Let's see what other opinions Tara has moving forward. Jam Jam. Yes, Jam Jam's been pretty just not good, not bad, but just kind of always showing.
Just fine.
Yeah, he's always getting screen time. So that if he becomes the main character later on, it doesn't look weird because we've always gotten Jam Jam content this season, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. And we obviously do see at the round table, Ron just tells people, hey, just vote me out. I'm going to check out. I'm kind of done. And, we've briefly talked about it. I think that was a beautiful moment, by Ron. And
I'm shocked that he had good things to say about everyone. I figured he would just glance over folks that he didn't like. But he had nice, and I think he starts with Jam Jam, but he works his way around. And at that point, when everyone's whispering, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to pull this off and he's not going to go home. So this might actually be a Colton boot. And then Colton does what he does. And we basically have a split vote between the three, Lisa, Colton, and Ron. And Ron going home, I feel like this was the perfect time for it to happen, sadly. But obviously the bigger thing is Rob votes for Lisa.
Well, I mean, let's talk about this, right? So he says there's two main boys, Ron and Colton, and their names are getting thrown out there pretty massively, and it's kind of having to choose. But then there's the third option for Lisa, right? Now, this is where I feel like having a gamer in the turret is actually quite beneficial, right? Because gamers understand they're like, you threw a vote on me, so then it kind of looks like we're not really like together. That's fine. But what I love about having two housewives in the turret, or like it's like more normal people in the turret, it's like, what the hell? Why'd you even put a vote on me? Like what did you think of Rob's move here?
I think that the best part of Rob's move is the fact that he still tried to talk his way out of it when the three of them are in the kitchen. In the moment, I sat there and I texted all my friends. I'm like, oh my God, he just really fucked up. Like, this is bad. This is really bad. And it's even worse because as the votes continue and Lisa survives, it's like, oh yeah, you really fucked up because this does not seem like the type of person you want to just piss off. So, I mean, it's a bad idea only because it didn't work. I also think that it could end up helping him with Colton, I guess, but like Colton is dead man walking right now. Do you really want to be associated with him? Now Lisa and Candace, what do they do? Because it's like, hey, you tried to come after one of us, and Candace and they're throwing food at him. That's hilarious. What's to stop them from trying to get people to turn on you now because you tried to come after one of us? So that, like I said at the beginning of this, I do feel like this episode sets up the storyline of the traitors imploding on themselves, which sucks because this has been my favorite batch of traitors in the 4 seasons of American Traitors. And I never saw that happening. I like I've said from the beginning, I was I didn't really care about any of these people being traitors, and now they're, as a group, my favorite. Like, Suri's still my favorite traitor because of course she is.
It's Suri.
It's Suri. But this group of traitors has been able to navigate the game so easily that now it's like, oh no, maybe they can right the ship. Hopefully they can right the ship, but I don't. Lisa's already pretty pissed off with what Colton has been saying, and now, oh, you're telling me you're closer to Colton than you are with me? All right, see ya.
I think it's like if you're going to vote for a traitor and you are a traitor, you have to make sure that they get voted out that night. Moving sort of with like last season when was Danielle voted for Rob and then Carolyn voted for Danielle,
Yeah,
I
they're
think,
just the Traitors last
yeah,
season were just
yeah, they're so
taking shots at each
dysfunctional.
other. Yeah,
Yeah, but I do think that's probably my favorite unified traders force moving forward together, right? Like I love Candace and what she's doing. I think Candace is in the end game. Straight up. I don't think she's getting targeted at all. Lisa, I can see getting voted out. Rob, I can see, especially after this, maybe like there might be some heat. But if it's Candace versus Rob, I think Candace takes it. I really do.
I do too, because no one, at least on camera, suspects her of anything other than being she. The fact that Johnny Weir wants her in his 8% along with Rob, but
Yeah,
Johnny Weir wants her in his 8-person alliance of faithfuls, and he's correct on 6 of the 8. Shows that she is
yeah,
doing something right, um,
yeah,
and I don't see that changing moving forward. And I hope we're both right on that.
yeah. I really hope so too. And I feel like um, something that Candace might be able to use said, look, a housewife has already been a traitor if Lisa gets voted out first, right? Why would there be 2 housewives? You get what I mean? So I feel like
Yep.
Candace might be able to use that. So yeah, I genuinely believe Candace is in the in game. Candace is my number 1 horse in the race at the moment. But do we think next round table Rob's going to take a proper swing at Lisa,
No,
or Durgan's going to try min fences?
no, I think that the more likely outcome is Lisa. Like they buried the hatchet for one round. They deal with Colton, and this is not even bias at this point. I do think that they
Hmm.
probably just deal with Colton this next episode. Oh, the next episode's Murder in Plain Sight.
Yeah,
So whoever goes home there, and then if she does, or whoever's wearing the brooch or whatever it is, if they don't get rid of Colton, then they will get rid of Colton at the end of the episode, and then what I think will happen is Lisa will now be like, "Oh, okay, hey, you remember who else voted with Colton the round they voted for me? Oh, Rob. Okay, cool." And then
hmm,
she leads an offensive against him, and I feel like that'll be one of those moments where Candace has to really pick a side on who she's rocking with the rest of the rest of the season.
yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like it would be too hard to murder Colton in plain sight, and I think I
Well,
guess if you're looking,
all they have to do is get him to touch the little. I think it's a bro. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a thing. Yeah, I mean, what they're going to do is strap him to a chair. It's like
Well,
you
no,
won't
but
touch,
like,
you won't touch this, Colton. Right? You just grab his hand and put it on it. But yeah, it's I feel like while Colton is a problem, he's also a name that you can keep on pushing to try to get voted out, right?
mm-hmm.
But from looking at it from like you see the whole like map, the whole board, right? Rob just lost Ron, right? And he knows Colton is a huge number for him, right? When you've got the numbers, that's when you got to try take a swing, especially as a trader, right? So I feel like if I was Rob, I'd be like, well, I've got Colton here. It's almost like a shield. I might as well try and go all out, support Colton with this, and try to get rid of Lisa because Colton is never going to choose Rob as a trader.
No, I don't. I don't see that happening. Uh, well, I don't see Colton going after Rob as a traitor. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm curious to see how Rob tackles this fallout next episode.
Hmm.
Maybe he tries to appease Lisa, like, "Hey, sorry, let's go after whoever you want to go after right here." It's like
Yeah.
an olive branch, because he seems like the type of player that realizes, "Hey, you have to mend these fences if you want to get
Hmm.
farther in the game." So I'm curious to see how he handles everything because the, his excuse in the kitchen, it's like, yeah, this is bullshit, but only because we know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
If he phrases it the right way, they could actually believe what he's saying is actually true. Um,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make them ditzy or airheaded. That just means that he's really good at how he phrases things. Now, I don't think that I don't think either one of them actually believe it because why is she throwing food at him?
Yeah.
But if he continues to reiterate it, it could be, oh, What if Colton is telling the truth and he kind of knew that there was no way Lisa was actually going to go home? Because he didn't know. There's no way he knew that she wasn't going to go home.
I think they're only mad at him and worried about it because the votes were so close.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like only 2 votes on Lisa, I think they're just like, you know what, it's fine. You didn't want to vote for Ron. You threw a vote and no one else went with it. But because it was what, like 6 to... Wait, no, it was 15 votes. It was like 6 to 5 to 4. Yeah, it was crazy.
So, that's why we continue to tune in. They leave us with just enough that we want to watch again.
Yeah. And something as well, there's been, 4 roundtables, and Candace has voted for Ron at every single roundtable.
And Ron says you're being consistent. Ron's like, you're being consistent. Yeah. And that's good on her. She hasn't wavered. She just continues to vote for Ron. And I don't think that people are going to look at that as traitorous because she's being consistent.
Yeah. No, once again, great job by Candace. And obviously Ron, really sad to lose Ron here as well. I know everyone's like, oh, he's a comedian, but it's not really funny. But it's like, well, like, it's such a stressful environment, the Traitors. That's the one thing I've heard from everyone who's played in Traitors New Zealand. Every single person I've chatted to about it has said it is generally some of like the worst moments in their lives because you're so paranoid 24/7. Everything is hard. You don't know if anyone's telling you the truth about anything or not. It must be hard. And then have been ostracized on top of that. And being paranoid 24/7 and thinking you're going to get voted out at every single round table. Like, it must be shit.
Yeah.
It really must be.
And with Ron, and it's very similar to the Lisa thing where, Ron's supposed to be a comedian. He's not even funny. It's like, he's not there to be funny. He's there to play the game and win. Oh, Lisa's not being like super bitchy and all this other stuff. It's like, that's not the point of her being there. I feel like everyone expects these people to... Tara's not out there figure skating the entire time. Like,
can you imagine if the whole time she's just on roller skates and ice skates?
It's like, these people are not just this. Is there hair?
Yeah.
They're not just Tara Lipinski, the ice skater. They're not just Ron Funches, the comedian. They are people with layers. It's wild that they've chosen Ron as the person of like, he definitely can't be funny if he's not funny on the Traitors. It's like, that's like the perfect situation to not be funny. And also probably a situation where you might want to be funny because people might look at you, if he's not being funny, which means he's a traitor.
Yeah.
It's a hard game, as you've mentioned. It's a hard game.
But I do feel like we did miss out on something though, Drew. We missed out on a remake of a very iconic quote where Lisa should have told Colton, listen here, macho, like this is the Traitors, not the Bachelor, so I don't have to kiss your ass for a rose, like if we almost got that. We almost could have gotten that, but no, we unfortunately didn't. But Queen Phaedra will always reign. But any final thoughts about Ron going, the banishment or anything before we move on to the mission that we haven't even talked about at all?
No. I like we can continue to say it sucks for Ron. I really liked him, but I'm glad that he's gone so that they can find a new person to pick on.
Yeah. Same. I liked Ron a lot. I do feel like he kind of drew, the short straw in terms of this all just shit on Ron, But I'm really glad he was out there playing and stuff, and I'm excited to see where the next chapter is going to be for the Traitors. But I do want to quickly talk about the mission though, because I know you said that you were kind of just on your phone for it, but I actually loved this mission. So pretty much players must figure out a bunch of different clues related to... I didn't even know who the people were, if I'm being honest with you, but someone who's dead. All right, they've got a gravestone, the answers lead to their names, and pretty much like they're haunted like the entire time. Like there are people with chainsaws bursting through, there are like insects everywhere, people with like clown masks, everyone's jump scaring them. And I was, oh my gosh, I love this. This is so much fun. Like, are you a horror person in general, Drew?
take it or leave it. Like I don't hate horror or anything. It's just some horror I just kind of like. I've never really been into zombies. I don't really care about zombies. But like I love the Scream movies. I love the Saw movies. I don't know why. I don't know what it was with this challenge this week though. It's like I don't really care about anything happening here.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it along the way. I've always loved like haunted houses, like with like spookers here in New Zealand, which I think is like one of the top horror attractions around the world or some shit. Our spookers, and really funny story. Actually, I for Halloween I was with a whole bunch of friends, right, and we're going through the woods and people chasing after us. And at spookers, none of the actors are allowed to touch you, right? I had an actor come up to me, full outfit. I think he had like a knife or something. And he said, "So how would you like to die, Michael Richard Hope?" I was like, how the fuck does he know my name? Like my full name. And then he like chased after me. He literally tackled me. Actors aren't supposed to touch you, but he tackled me in the woods. And he literally just like told me my parents' address where, obviously, I grew up. I was like, who on earth even are you? You know my full name, you know my address and stuff. Turns out he was actually one of my old students I used to coach improvised acting to, like way back when I was in high school. And it's like, wow, blast from the past.
And he remembered all of that.
He remembered all that. And because one thing about me is like, if you go, rah, like that, I might get like a little fright, but it's just really fright. But if you come up behind me, you like grab me, I will lose my shit.
Yeah.
And that's he remembered that for some odd reason. So he just thought, I'm just going to tackle Michael because I know he's going to take it. And that will be forever my favorite spookers moment, horror moment. I was genuinely frightened as well.
I believe it.
Who the hell knows my full name?
Yeah, that would freak me the hell out.
And I've actually got a photo right here. I'll have to show you, Drew, straight after. But we did a Fear Factory, which is like a one-way kind of like movement through like a haunted house, and I thought I ran into a wall, and I looked up, and it was Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th.
I would have shit myself. So
yeah, I almost shit myself too. That was a lot of fun. But I love this this mission and stuff, and obviously they have to go out to like a grave with who they think is like the right name and stuff. They get it right, they get the gold, which I love the hand coming up and giving them the gold. But there's also shields on offer as well. And I feel like this is where maybe the show kind of missed out on like a great drama opportunity where so Natalie says before they'll start, if anyone grabs the shield, they get banished that night. And we saw that for Candace and Tara, I believe, they guess wrong, so they don't get the coin. And obviously Alan, he tells the last few players that like, hey, no one went for the shield, so everyone's up for murder. I reckon it would have been great if Alan just told everyone how much they earned, and people would have realized, hang on, there's like X amount missing. So then people have to figure out, do they get it wrong or do they go for a shield?
That would be I guess that would be a nice change. Like if they do the challenge again, which they've done versions of this challenge the first few seasons. That would be a nice change to it, just to stir the pot. I think at one point Jam even thinks about going for a shield, and it's like, oh no, we all said that we weren't going to do it, so we can't do it.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something, but what the Traitors has done very well throughout the first 4 seasons is kind of changing just a little bit. And so maybe we get to season 5 and they decide, hey, let's do it exactly like you just described it.
Yeah. Honestly, I reckon Peacock should just hire me. Honestly, let me change the game for the better. But I really enjoyed the mission overall, and that's low-key kind of all the thoughts I have on the episode. If I've been perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
What do you think is going to happen at the banquet?
I think they will get I think they will be able to pull a murder off. I mean, for all I know, it could just be someone accidentally touching the brooch, like, and that person goes. But I do think they'll pull it off, and I don't think that people will catch on to what happened. Like, I don't think that anyone's going to be like, "Oh, didn't this person touch you?" I don't think that'll happen. I think they'll be able to play it off very well.
See, I think the opposite. I think low-key Lisa gets caught. But I think she gets caught by Colton.
Okay.
And I think, because I actually saw on TikTok recently where Alan had done some kind of like interview, and he said that the banquet is one of his he thinks it's the greatest moment in the Traitors US history.
Well, then I have what, 5 days until I find out if that's true, or 5 or 6 days until I find out if that's true.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And so I'm trying to think, what could it be? Yeah, I reckon Lisa might get caught, but I think she gets caught by Colton. So it's kind of a he said, she said kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you have that like a close quarters thing, and I think that's where Lisa might be like, "I'm Lisa fucking Rinna," really step it up. So
yeah.
But then again, that's just Colton doing what he does best, which is he grabs the stick, he pokes it at the bear, they go wild, and then he'll act like the victim, which is smart gameplay by him. But man, that would frustrate me. If that's how Lisa goes, if this is how Candace goes as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah. But any final thoughts on this episode?
No, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, I'm excited too. But I guess just something a little bit serious, I guess, just to end off the podcast. Obviously, the weather all over the world has been pretty insane. Obviously, for us, New Zealand and Australians, your temperature right now is what, like negative 22 degrees Celsius?
22 right now.
Yeah, which is bloody insane. Here at New Zealand, actually in my hometown where I grew up in Mount Maunganui, there was a landslide on the mountain, and there's been 30 homes completely destroyed. They found 6 bodies confirmed to be dead, which I actually roughly knew one of them, which is a wee bit sad, and still a lot more people are like missing under like the grounds and stuff. So if you're out there, the weather's getting pretty wild. Keep safe. Stay home unless if you live right next to a mountain. Then probably don't stay home. But yeah, keep nice and safe. So what's that?
Yeah. No, I'm saying go elsewhere if you're living next to that.
Yeah. No. But no, make sure you keep nice and safe. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe for Cheeky Naughty Times. We're all about the cheeky naughty stuff. I just recently did a podcast with Ferris, Hurricane Kelly, Raymond, and Valeria from Titans vs. Rebels to wrap up our season rankings of Australian Survivor. And Drew, it was one of the most wildest nights I've ever had. Hands down.
I didn't see it, but now I feel like I probably have to.
Yeah, it is. I've never laughed this hard at during a podcast. I was crying from laughter like 5 minutes in.
Okay, then I'll definitely go.
It was absolutely insane. I strongly recommend watching that. And of course, coming up, Australian Survivor Redemption, and also some season 50 content soon as well. Hopefully, Drew. I reckon we gotta jump on the bandwagon. Season 50 comes out in what, a month?
Yeah, a month.
Crazy, gosh. Right? Crazy. Why do all these shows have to come out at the same time? So what, this show ends the 23rd or 24th?
It ends the day after the 50 premiere.
Okay, so Australian Survivor starts February 23rd. Season 50 starts February 25th, and this show ends February 26th. How are we going to do it, Drew?
I mean, that won't be the hardest thing. That'll be fine.
No, this is the hardest thing in the world, Drew. Okay, trying to talk about 3 shows.
Well, okay. We'll only have to do that for 1 week because Traitors will be done, and then you'll have Australia, I'll have US. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll try keep up with season 50, but knowing me, I'll probably I'll probably be quite far behind because there's too many. Look, Australian Survivor is already hard enough. It's 3 hours a week,
Yeah.
and then an hour podcasting as well. It's 4 hours of my week. I already struggle with that. So, and isn't the season 50
totally
premiere?
understand.
Isn't the season 50 premiere also going to be like 3 hours
3
or something?
hours.
Oh my gosh! Like what? There's 7 hours of content in 1 week, Drew, excluding the podcast. How are we going to do it?
Well, the Traitors finale is probably going to be about 2 hours.
Oh my! 9 hours?
So
9 hours of content? Drew? Oh my gosh! All right, everyone, mark your calendars end of February for season 50, Australian Survivor, and the Traitors US finale. Oh my gosh! It's going to be a nightmare, but it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to break it all down with you, Drew, and everyone in the chat as well. But what's something cheeky and or naughty that you've been up to, though, Drew?
Nothing at all. Nothing.
I think that's lie, pants on fire. You haven't been making any snow angels?
No, God,
nothing.
I don't leave my house unless I have to. And today is one of those days. No, nothing.
Fair enough, man. Well, actually, later tonight, I'm going to be doing something that I know you're going to wish you were doing it with me. I think it's a nationwide thing where they're re-releasing Lord of the Rings, the extended edition, in movie cinemas. So tonight I'll be rewatching the Fellowship of the Ring extended edition.
Okay.
I think it's the best one in the trilogy, in my opinion.
It's my second favorite, but yeah, Fellowship is amazing.
Yeah.
I love Fellowship.
Isn't Return of the King your favorite?
Return of the King. It goes Return of the King, Fellowship, Two Towers.
Nice. I do think Two Towers has got the best. Like Helm's Deep is probably the best fight scene or the best battle, but as a movie overall, I feel like Fellowship, Return of the King.
Yeah, Helm's Deep is I won't argue that one because it's true.
Yeah,
it's the best.
We'll have to do like a Lord of the Rings podcast at some point, but I feel like they'll be like 10 hours long, just talking about how great everything is.
That wouldn't be the first time.
That would be your first time. Man, make sure you subscribe for Cheeky Naughty Times. Thank you so much, everyone who has already subscribed. Drew, we recently made it over 200 subscribers. Can you believe it? A year in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought we were pretty close, but okay, so we hit. Okay.
Yeah, we're officially over 200. Thank you so much, everyone, who subscribed and supported the channel. I've been your host, Mucky Hope Kakate. I know everyone. And we'll catch you all in the next live stream. Take it easy, guys. Ciao.